Another lesson. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Another lesson about Tajweed rules. نبدأ we start with the dua إن شاء الله. اللهم لا سهل إلا ما جعلته سهلا وإنك تجعل الحزن بفضلك سهلا. سهل لنا أمورنا واشرح لنا صدورنا وهب لنا من لدنك رحمة إنك أنت الوهاب. Our second lesson is about the rule of izhar, which is in English clear. What is izhar? The definition is pronouncing every letter from its articulation point without any prolonged ghunna. Now, what's ghunna? Ghunna is the nasal sound, and it is a characteristic of the letters mim and nun. It comes from the sound from inside, from here. So we don't stretch it. Once we see the noon or tanween with the hukm clear, we have to read them clearly. Now, when this rule is applied to the unvoweled noon or tanween, they are pronounced clearly and are articulated from their point of articulations. When do we do that? There are 6 letters which, when they immediately follow the noon or tanween, they cause the clear pronunciation. And those 6 letters are the blue letters here from the throat. But why do we read them clearly? Why do we read the noon clearly? Because it's always because of the point of articulation. The point of articulations of noon and those 6 letters are far away in distance from each others. For example, the noon, the point of articulation of the noon or tanween, coming from the tip of the tongue here. However, the point of articulation of those 6 letters, the throat letters, are very far away from the tip of the tongue. That's why we call them throat letters, and that's why, because of this long distance, we have to apply the clear rule. Means we have to read the noon and tanween clearly. Let's have an example about this. That's part of the ayah from Surah Al-Baqarah. إن الذين كفروا سواء عليهم. Now, if we look at the سواء, the Hamza has got ضمتين or تنوين الضم or 2 ضمة, 2 vowels. After those 2 vowels, there is عين, this purple عين. The عين is part of the letters of throat, the throat letters. The letters of a clear. That's why we have to read this tanween clearly. We say sawa'un. We pronounce the noon. Now, how can we see them in the Qur'an? I've got here the non-clear. This one, the non-clear rules, and we've got here I'm gonna write after the clear rule, but let's see here the non-clear. The non-clear rule, the written form in the Quran would be 2 dhammat, like 1 dhamma, another dhamma together. So this, when we see the 2 dhammat, this tanween al-dham, this shape of the tanween al-dham, we know straight away that this hukm, it's not izhar, because the izhar is like this. So this one would be another rule. We're gonna learn them later in the next lessons, inshallah. Also, if we see the noon, we see it empty, without any vowel, without any sukun on top of it. It means there is no clear. Another rule applies. Tanween al-fatah and tanween al-kasr would be like this, parallel, but they are stretched. They're not on the same level. These 3 indicators in the Quran, you will find them. It means there is hukm, There is rule, but it's different than izhar. Now let's see the izhar rule. The clear rule is, that's example, ba with dhammatain on top of it, tanween al-dham. We read it bun. How it is written in the Quran, it would be written like this, dhammatain, or most likely like this one, the dhamma and that's hat on top of it. Okay, now minha, the noon, minha, that's the noon in the middle. On top of the noon there is tanween. There is sukun. Sukun in the Quran would be written like this, like little, the head of the ha, very little one. It's not circle in the Quran. And once we see the sukun on top of the noon, it means there is clear rule. We have to read it clearly. Why? Because the ha after noon. That's why. Now ban and bin, tanween al-fatah and the kasr, would be also parallel but at the same level. They not stretched like this. So this means the rule is clear. Now whether you know the letters after the noon or tanween would be throat letter or not, you would know it straight away from the indicators, from the shape of the sukun and the tanween. What are the letters of izhar? The first one is hamza, and then ha, ain and ha, and ghain and kha. 6 letters. Hamza, ha, ain, ha, ghain, kha. We put them into 3 groups. The first one, the second one, and the third one, according to the level of the izhar. Let's see. Now, before seeing the level of izhar, just reminding you, this kind of clear is called throat clear, which means in Arabic izhar halqi. Halqi coming from the halq, because the point of articulation of these 6 letters is the throat. That's why we call them izhar halqi. Now, the definition of point of articulation, because we're gonna use this word, this terminology almost every lesson. Point of articulation is the point where the letter occurs and the sound stops. So it gives the letter its its distinctive sound. Levels of clear now. Levels of izhar. If you look at this picture here, we've got the letters of izhar, the 6 of them in the throat here. The first group is ha and hamza. I don't know why they put hamza with alif. Normally hamza should be only hamza without any alif. Now in the middle there is ain and ha, and here ghain and kha. That's those letters. When those letters come after the nun sakina or tanween, we have to apply the rule of izhar. We have to read the nun and tanween clearly. Now let's see the levels. The first level is the ulya, the upper level. This one, hamza and ha. Why do we call it ulya? Ulya, it means the upper, yani the most. Why? Because it's distance between them, the point of articulation of the ha and hamza, the longest distance between them and the point of articulation of the noon, which is the tip of the tongue. The second level is the wusta, the middle one, and then we've got the lower level, which is dunya. Dunya, it's the minimum or lower. Why? Because the distance between the tongue and the throat is shorter than those ones. So that's all you need to know, just the name of them. It has nothing to do with the pronunciation. We always, with the idhar, we have to pronounce the noon, and the tanween, n sound. Always, always. Very easy lesson today. Only the idhar. Next time, inshallah, we'll continue and give more rules. Inshallah, we will meet again the next lesson. Please don't hesitate. If you have any question, just ask. And we will please spread the knowledge and share this video. And I'll see you next time, inshallah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.